on. There you go. Go ahead.
Awesome. So I'll ask you this question for question number 1, and this is from Whitney. Her question is, what's your system for onboarding your new coaches and helping them hit Emerald and Success Club right away?
Yeah, so I personally have a 1-sheet business kickstart. I was doing lots of different things in my 8 years of being a coach and mentoring other women to reach their goals. And one of the things that I found is working currently in my business is very focused intention and effort on a one-page PDF that I can share with the group. But essentially it looks at their goals, what they want to earn in their business monthly, helping 3 people in it, getting their initial investment back plus a little bit of profit, like setting that goal, setting the first one-on-one with me. But after they've already created their list of 10 people that they want to invite to a challenge group and 10 people they'd like to lock arms with in this business opportunity, once they've filled out that tracker, obviously the reasons why, I can share it, they send that back to me. Then we hop on a one-on-one and I help them invite right there. I talk about the importance of Emerald, hitting Success Club, but I go through with them how to invite their people.
I do the same. I love it. I love it. Yeah. The one thing that I want to add to that is it really isn't that different from when I first got started. But when I first started, I didn't have any training. There wasn't training in the coach office. There wasn't training on YouTube. Like, people didn't even do YouTube videos back then. I'm that old. And I literally just I have to earn Success Club. I have to go out. I don't have a lot of people on my social media. I got to add more people. I got to go in and invite people. And what I realized over the years was we have so much training. And so coaches will get stuck in that training rut of but I have to know all these things before I do something. So just kind of to reiterate what Dara said is keep it really simple, get them into action. I am so glad that I didn't have all the training. I wish that I had diamond dashes like this to learn additional tips faster, but with new coaches, just get them taking action. That's where they're going to learn the most. I like to prime them to let them know. Most people are going to tell you no. Most people are not going to respond. That's part of the process. I have a blog from my mentor that I send them, and I'm like, here, this is all you need to know. You need to read through this. This is what he did to be a top earner. Depending upon your goals, it doesn't matter. Same activities, just depends how fast or slow you want to go.
And I also think important to note that people that told me no in the beginning eventually did join me in a challenge group. And so it's your consistency is your superpower. People join because you didn't give up. People join because you were so passionate 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years later, right? That that is
this morning.
That's sexy. That is sexy. People are attracted to someone who doesn't give up on their goals.
I had someone follow me. She's a friend that I knew, and she's like, I just followed you because I was like, there's no way this is going to be a train wreck and I want to watch. And then she joined me. She's like, and now here I am joining you.
Amen. I love that. So yeah, and I think the other, yeah, exactly. So I think very simple breakdown of what they can do to start creating success in their business. Essentially, I think starting with people that they already know, like, and trust, and know, like, and trust them is such an easy place for people to start. And then we start getting into further developing their, social media, growing their social media, figuring out their message, that kind of thing. But in the beginning, I want them to get their quick wins. I want them to get a paycheck. I'd like them, if they could get to Emerald and hitting Success Club, or starting to work their way. I think that is what creates belief in themselves in this business. So that's what my 1-page tracker is about, and I can share it.
I just shared a quick little script that I have some coaches just to kind of break the ice and get them out there inviting. So I just shared that in the chat, and it just says, hey, name, girl, however you would, address someone. I just signed up for this because look at these results, and whatever program they're going to be starting with, here's the results photo from, some results photo that speaks to them. I'm super excited to create my own after photo, but kind of nervous. Would you want to do this with me? We could hold each other accountable. Super simple.
Love that. Awesome.
I can't take credit for it. I got from somebody else. I get so many things from other people, and they tweak and make it work. So
try and tweak, right? Okay. So I think, are we good on that question?
Yeah.
All right. I think the next question I'm going to maybe throw back to you, Christy, is I'm struggling with tracking. When adding a ton of people every day, making connections, mass inviting, having a hard time knowing who's worth tracking. It feels like too much to track everyone. So I need to know like a nice streamlined system so that I can go back and follow up.
Great question. So first off, I really love TeamZ, TeamZY.com. You have a 30-day free trial, so you can try it. You don't even have to put in a credit card, and then it's $30 a month. You get one customer on Shakeology because you're better at tracking and follow-up. It pays for that, right? It's an incredible investment. I love that because I've had coaches that don't even, like, they'll open up their Facebook or their social media and they're like, I don't know who to invite. I don't know who to connect with. I don't know who to follow up with. Like, I don't even know. I can't even track all this. And that system really helps do it for you. But now the other thing is with Instagram, I think that adds, you know, you're connecting with so many people. If people connect back, they go on a list as someone that I'm going to follow up with, right? But if they don't ever respond to me, they can continue following my stories or whatever, and I'll just end up reaching out to them because they're on that story list or they're on that like or comment list, but it's not something that they're going to go into a follow-up because they've never responded back. That's just me personally. But I like that. That's just me personally. But you know, some people might do it different. I find this is not necessarily the right way. There's not, if you're out there connecting with people and inviting people, like, you're doing it, right? I lost a lot of people in the beginning because I didn't follow up. No sweat. It's okay. They're on your social media. They'll still see things, right? So something I did, and this is a little bit more advanced, but when people were interested, I started getting their emails and put them on an email list so that I can send a weekly, like, motivational email, so that I'm following up with people more regularly. Like, they're getting a follow-up essentially, not me like, hey, join my team, or hey, join a challenge group, but a story, maybe with a call to action at the bottom, but they're getting that constant connection from me in case they're missing me on social media. So that's just like a little pro tip. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like, you don't have to do crazy like email campaigns or anything like that. I just literally take a Facebook post and put it in an email and send it to those people. So that's a way that I can follow up with people that have showed interest, that I have sent information to, and they've stopped responding. Because that's where a lot of people that sign up with me anyways, is they'll ask for info. You know, I'll send them a free workout, like a Lift 4 workout, you know, the little sample workouts. And then they'll ask for info on coaching, and I send them that. And then it's just like they ask for info 3 or 4 times. I get their email. So now they're hearing from me weekly. So then when they reach out, they're like, I'm ready to start now, right? So that's something that helps me, but TeamZ would be my go-to.
If I can just add on to that, because I did adopt that strategy from Christy, so thank you for that, is that there's 2 things I was going to say about that, and I just let the dog in and lost it. Sorry. I mean, I think I was essentially going to say that on social media, they don't always see your post, but in your email, I feel like you have a greater chance of them opening that. Like, I can do the report in MailChimp and I can see how many people open that. It's greater than the people viewing my posts on social sometimes. So that's a win. And then, yeah, I lost the other one, but it works. Oh, I was going to also say that not everyone responds to me, but I do have some residual coming through of staying consistent on email and dropping my newsletter. So that residual of like people ordering and, you know, through my calls to action at the bottom, which is always a nice benefit of what we do, right? Okay.
All right. So let's go. Oh, I got to find. Love that. Okay, next question. Oh, will this be recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. Here's the question though. What should I do if I don't have a dirt list? As in, none of my friends or family will help. I seem to be only attracting other businesses. How do I change this? I covered that question. Great question. Didn't even read it beforehand, but I covered that in the live video today. So I think Lisa were you on? Or am I making that up? Were you on the live video? No, you were for a little bit. Okay. Was anyone else on that got to see it? Okay, cool. Do you feel like I covered that question, or did you guys have more questions around that? Awesome.
They can go watch the live. So I know, yeah. I mean, I will say one thing for me is I personally did not have a warm market that was like, yeah, I want to do this with you. In fact, the two people I signed up that were friends quit eventually, and I signed up my mom and husband immediately to keep my Emerald, and they are now the Park Place spots in my business centers, which is a good place to be, right? Those are prime spots. But I had to get really busy on working on creating new relationships. So on Facebook, joining groups and in my social circle out and about. So watch Chrissy's video, because I know she dives into not just on social, but like person, belly to belly, face to face interactions. So I think for me to answer that, like I didn't have a ton of warm market people interested, but I did get busy and start creating new friendships. So 90% of my team are people I didn't know, but now have become family.
Yeah. And I covered it in the video, but I just love to answer, like I want to answer questions. I feel like bad leaving it. But for me, like with Instagram or with Facebook, think of places or like, so for example, I shared in the training today, I was a competitor. And so the team, or I am a competitor. So the team that I compete with, my coach, my competition coach, I use his hashtag. His team becomes a network for me. I have another coach, and this might not be a popular opinion, but she left her church. The church that she belongs to, she left. And there's actually a community group on Facebook for people that have left the church. Like that's what she's going through personally. So think of those things, like what are things that would help you with whatever you're going through in life? Go join Facebook groups, go use hashtags. Speaking to that, one of my top coaches is from the competition team that I belong to, using that hashtag and posting with that hashtag every day when I was a newer coach and got started on Instagram. And I just going through and connecting with those people that use the hashtag. There was only one other Beachbody coach that used that hashtag, and she was like not consistent. Right? Nobody else was there. Like I didn't have to compete with anyone. So when I hear somebody say like, oh, I'm only getting coaches, or, I can't find people, go watch my training video, because I give you tons of ideas how to do it.
Sweet. Thank you, Christy.
Struggling. So the next question was kind of similar. I'm struggling with finding my niche target market. Moms, toddler moms, girl moms seems so broad. I'm just going to add to what I was just saying, but like on Instagram, for example, go to hashtags that would be something, and I shared this in the video today, that would be something that's local to you. Like when I was competing in like Colorado, I did a lot of competition in Colorado, and I really connect with people in Colorado or like Portland. It was very similar vibe to where I lived. And so there's a donut shop called Voodoo Donuts.
Yes.
I use hashtag Voodoo Donuts. And I would like connect with people because I'm like, yeah, let's go eat some donuts. I love, like, give me sweets, give me sugar, right? So I connect with other people that love sugar. They need some Shakeology in their life, right? So think a little bit outside the box. Like in your area, if you're a mom, is there a mom's center where you would take kids? Is there a theme park where you would go with kids? Like, where would moms hang out besides mom? Right.
Yeah. I just did a training for my team on doing the geotags. So going to the location and writing down dinners that my husband and I go to for like date night, places that we like to go for dinner, places that I take my kids, the children's museum, parks that we hang out, different things I do with my kids, things we do as a couple. And then from there, I can find so many people that are frequenting the same places that we frequent. So that's exactly, I was going to say exactly what Chrissy said is exactly what I do on Instagram. And then on Facebook.
I love the geotagging. Like, that's brilliant. I don't do that enough. Because you can go, like, don't just post to that area or that, geotag something, location, whatever, and then just leave it. Like, go and connect with those people. And like go through, like you have connections, you should be posting about that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
For example, one of the coaches on my team, she's an engineer. So she actually went to like some type of women's engineer type thing and spoke at an event. Spoke about getting those women healthy because they're stressed and miserable in their jobs. And she gave them very simple tips about drinking water and eating veggies, like simple to be mindset type stuff. And they were blown away. with what she shared. And she got an email list, like to walk out the door. Those are her people. Now she gets to go add them on social media. There's so many things. Take some time to sit back and like think of ideas. Like, what can I do? How can I go out there and meet people that I would want to meet? Because I will tell you, if I get into a conversation with somebody and they're like not my person, I'm like, cool, have a good day.
Bye. Too many people out there to like force yourself to be around energy that's really not your people, you know? I also think someone I follow on Instagram that I love, not necessarily a huge influencer, but just someone I love that maybe doesn't want to join me. Like, I'll go through their people because I'm like, yeah, we share similarities. And I found a lot of great women that way.
I shared that today too.
Oh.
I was like, not other coaches.
No. Okay. So I love this one about, I have a part-time job and she can't really like be transparent that she wants to leave. That was my situation. But, so I have several other reasons I'm passionate about coaching that I can share. I find it hard to have a big reason why that might resonate with others. My other reasons for coaching are to help others who want to be helped and feeling more fulfilled in my career job. But again, I can't really share a lot on social. So is it still powerful enough to just be sharing the smaller moments, PD, bravery, connecting, consistency, because other people are counting on me, #coach life, right? And any suggestions on how to really passionately share her why without like getting,
Yes. So I was somebody, I worked in finance. Sorry, this is like something that was my story. I worked in the financial industry. I had my Series 7, Series 66, and these licenses are through the federal government. So if they found out that I had a business, not only would I get fired by my company, I would have nicks on my license and no other company would hire me because of that issue. Like, people can look up your license and people don't want to hire a financial advisor who has crap on their licenses. So I couldn't share that. Like, one, I had to have all my social media private. I don't recommend that, but it was just what I had to do. I had to work harder than somebody that could have a public social media. That's okay. It was part of my story. But share the things. If you're like, what can you think about it? Like having a secondary business, even if you don't want to leave your full-time job, because I have a lot of coaches like that in the beginning that didn't want to leave their full-time job, but what can the extra money do? How many more trips can you take? Maybe you can retire earlier. Maybe you can retire your spouse. Maybe you can save to buy a house quicker or buy a second house or a vacation home. So think of other things that you want to do besides just leaving your full-time job. Like, what would that extra money do for you? I think that's so huge, because like for me, when I couldn't share that I was leaving my full-time job, that I wanted to leave my full-time job fully and openly as much as I wanted, I shared things like, I got Invisalign. I had crooked teeth. Like, if you look back at old videos, they were really bad. I have women still to this day messaging me about how much my Invisalign cost because I did before and after photos of being able to pay for those things. I shared the journey of saving those funds to put a down payment on our first house. How many people are renting that want to buy a home, right? And buy their first home. So those are things that are really powerful. There's so much more. Dara, do you want to take over?
Well, I was just going to piggyback. I absolutely agree with that, because when I was working full-time, I only could do this part-time. And I was sharing that my part-time hustle allowed us to pay off $50,000 in credit card debt. Like that, my full-time job, our full-time jobs didn't do that because we could barely live our full-time jobs and pay our bills. This side income enabled us to do this. Also, I shared that I was going to retire my husband, right? And so people saw him go from working overnights and weekends to normal shifts, so we could take that shift differential cut. Then they saw him come home after I had to come home. And I think one of the things that I remember a woman saying is, I remember you said, Dara, I remember when you started, you said you were going to do this, and you went and did it. Like, people are paying attention, right? Like, they remembered me saying, like, I'm going to retire my husband. I'm going to bring my husband home to have family night dinners. Like, I was very clear in my head of what that was going to look like and feel like. Like, all of us sitting around the dinner table, and like, I shared that vision. And it didn't necessarily have to be me quitting my job, which was included in there, but I remember being very clear about that piece. And I think people can connect to that.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. And student loans, like that was something that I needed to pay off. You just reminded me of that. And those were the things that I shared, like paying off that student loan. so many good things that extra funds can do. And there are a lot of people out there that love their job. So they're going to relate and be like, oh, well, I love my job. Lots of teachers love their jobs, but they're not making enough. Right? And so they'll relate so much to that story. Like, that's so powerful. You don't even have to share that you want to leave your job. You can share all these other things that you're going to do with the extra funds.
Oh my gosh, this gets me fired up. I love this. Yes. Oh, so I know, Angela, you asked about, what to send for coaching. I have videos that I shared in the Google Doc that really are just kind of like generic videos. One is just what Team Beachbody, I am Team Beachbody, is about: the community, the empowerment, reaching goals together, health and fitness, that kind of thing. And then the follow-up is Brooke Lipoff's video, diving more into like how we earn income, what exactly we do. And I think every team has a little different. I think, Chrissy, you can share what you do. So I shared my document as just some examples and maybe to give you guys, other resources if you want. But I think we are all a little different in what we share.
Yeah, I have a What is Coaching audio, or we've done a video that's also on YouTube. And we do one every other week in our team so that people can invite to that. And yeah, that's what we send. I also have bulleted points of like what the opportunity is. And that really seems to resonate with people as well. But, I have people that, and I'll share this, I never watched the webinar that my coach sent me. Like, she got on the phone with me and she said, what interests you? What interests you in this opportunity? I was like, that I can help people. Like, I was the basic, like, I can help people. And she goes, well, you can work on your fitness goals. You're into fitness and help other people. And the company gives you customers. And I was like, oh, they'll help me do this? And I said, well, how much do you earn? And I was that person that you're like, really? And she goes, well, I earn about $1,500 a month. And I was like, that's it. Awesome. Like 15, I don't care how long that takes me. 1,500 would allow me to pay off these student loans. That's amazing. Like, where do I sign up? That was, my conversation was less than 5 minutes. Where do I sign up? So sometimes I think you need to know all this information, but just share your story. The very first person that signed with me, all I shared with her was, I don't even know if she watched the webinar or not. I sent her one of Doug Fitzgerald's webinars. He's a founding coach. And I shared with her, I said, I've been using Shakeology. I lost 5 pounds and it helped me reduce my grocery bill. Like, legit, just it was a replacement cost, not an added cost. So I got healthier. I feel better. I don't have 2 p.m. lows in the afternoon anymore where I feel like I'm going to fall asleep at my desk. And I'm saving some money, like lose some weight, get healthier, save some money. And I said, and I was on the phone with her, so it wasn't public on social media. So I said, like, and I want to leave my full-time job. Like, I want to help enough people where I get out of my full-time job. So I asked her later, I'm like, well, what made you sign with me? I had earned $0. You were my first person. And she goes, I needed to lose weight. So if anything, I was just going to lose weight. That was fine with me. And you said you wanted to leave your full-time job. And so I'm like, well, if she wants to leave her full-time job, I can earn some extra income. That's what she got out of my story. And so sometimes we overcomplicate it and we think that we have to give them all this information. I love to get on the phone with people. So I do send them a What is Coaching audio. I'll share it in the team page for you guys where that question was asked, or after we post this recording so you guys can grab that. I get on the phone with them and I ask them some very basic questions. What did you like best about the audio? What did you like best? What interested you? What stood out to you? If it's the fitness, I'm going to talk about stories of fitness results. If it's the business, I'm going to talk about business results that relate to them. Now, if it's the business, I'm going to say, what do you do for work? How long have you been doing that? So what interests you? Like if you're doing this for work, are you just wanting this to earn some extra income, or are you wanting it because you want to get out of your job? Like, what kind of were your thoughts around it since you are working already? Right? So I dig into those questions to get to know them so that I can then share stories that relate to them. Be a collector of stories. How I close them on the phone, though, not all people are ready. So I'll ask on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you? 1 being you're not interested, not your thing. 10 being you're ready to get started right now. Where are you on that scale? And I let them tell me. And sometimes people will tell me that they're an 8 and they're like, yeah, but I want to start right now. Like, okay, so that makes you a 10. And they'll be like, oh, I'm an 8, but I'm really scared. I share my story. I know what it's like to be scared. I was terrified. In fact, I almost quit my 2nd month because I was so scared. Because I was like, who am I to think I can be successful? But girls, simple habits that we do every day, just like fitness. And I know you can do this because I've done it. And I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. I'm going to send you the link and I'll help walk you through this enrollment.
Love that. I love that. Same exact things. You know, what did you love best about what you heard? You know, asking the question so you can really frame your response in a way that connects to them, right? Because there's so many perks or pieces of coaching that people connect to. So you really want to ask those questions. And I agree with Christy. I think like getting on the phone even before they sign up really creates rapport, creates bonds. And I think ultimately this is a relationship business. I think when people feel connected to that, to the team and to you, I just think really magical things happen. So I just wanted to piggyback off that. That was awesome.
And just go back to stories. Like, you don't need to know everything. Like, something that I've been doing a lot with my team is if somebody asks like a really detailed question, remember, if you go and research and find all the answers for them, they now think that they have to do that for everyone. And they'll look at what you're doing and say, I can't do what she does because I don't know the information. I'm not an expert. You don't need to be an expert. So I like to share, even if I do know what the answer is, I don't know about that. All I know is, like, when people can't argue with that. I don't know about that other shake. All I know is Shakeology helped me lose weight, and I definitely don't get those types of ingredients and nutrients in my body every day. Like, this makes it easy and it tastes good.
And I don't know anyone that will let you drink the entire bag and send it back if you don't like it.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know about that. All I know is you can send it back if you don't like it. Share stories. Again, I'm going to say this again because I had no idea what I was doing as a new coach. I just started inviting and connecting with people. And what I did, because I didn't know anything, was I shared stories from the National Coach Wake Up Call, I never got on Zooms like this, from the National Coach Wake Up Call, from just listening to other people's stories. If there was a transformation photo, I would like read the person's story, and I'd be talking with someone that week and be like, oh yeah, one of the coaches on our team, I don't know what team she's on, but she's on Beachbody's team. So she's on my team. And this is her story.
Amen.
And,
yes.
Yeah. And so a lot of times it wasn't even my story. I would share stories of success of people that were on the National Wake Up Call when I hadn't earned a dime. Right? But it inspired them to see what was possible. But if you ask enough questions, you will figure out what their story is. So like I was on a call yesterday, and the lady, Denise, super sweet lady, she's 60 years old. She's a personal trainer. And what resonated with her was that she can't take on as many clients because she's always traveling with her husband, who's a trust fund baby. And she goes, yeah, I don't have to work, but what if something happens to him? I'm not going to be taken care of, right? And she goes, I really want to live in Hawaii part of the year, and he won't let me. Like, I want a place there. And so I need my own money, but I want to do it helping people. And so I share with her my story because we own a second home in Tahoe, right? I just shared that with you guys. You don't have to own a second home, a vacation home, but you can use my story if somebody wants to own a vacation home and share that with them, right? So sometimes you think because you haven't accomplished something yet that people aren't going to be attracted to you. They need hope in the stories. So collect stories and ask enough questions so that you know what stories you need to share with them.
Amen. I mean, we always say facts tell, stories sell. I think versus sending someone an ingredient list of Shakeology, people are connected to how it can help them. Are they struggling with, are they pre-diabetic? I just had a one-on-one with a potential coach who then signed up who is pre-diabetic, and sharing with her how Shakeology will help her or can help her, right? Like, it's proven, the only meal replacement that's proven, scientifically proven, to help people lower their blood sugar levels. And so I think people connect to the stories and become a collector of stories, right? It doesn't have to be your story. I might be talking to someone who's a single mom who doesn't connect to my story, but I have a story of someone who's been able to be successful in this business that I can share to inspire, right? Because that is where people want to feel connected. It's a human need. They want to feel connected, and they want to feel like there's hope, right? Like you giving them hope through sharing someone's stories evokes these emotions, and then they start to see themselves in that other person's shoes that they believe they can be successful too. So powerful.
Mm-hmm. And even for yourself, this is like another pro tip. Like when I am going after a big goal, I will go and collect stories of what I want to accomplish to help prove the concept that it's possible for me. Like, and then I have more stories to share with other people. So use that for your own goals and dreams too. There's a really great question that I want to tackle. She said, would anyone be interested in sharing their coach video? I've been wanting to make one, but I have no idea where to start. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you guys. Yes, I'll share with you my coach video and you can use it. I got to Millions Club in this business, never creating a what is coaching audio or video. I do not recommend that you do it either. I do not recommend that you spend time doing that, because what happens is your coaches get started, they see your video or audio, and now they think, I can't do what she does because I have to go create one of those and I'm not comfortable doing that, so I'm just not going to build this business. Don't do it.
The ones that I shared in the document, I'll share it in the page. Those are just generic Team Beachbody videos that I use as 8 years in, Million Club, right, elite, but my brand new coaches can use. That's why just like Chrissy said, it needs to be duplicatable. I need my new coaches that come in to understand they don't have to go create a video like I have. So the ones I shared, you're welcome to use. I just created a Team Vimeo account, because sometimes YouTube takes people in like crazy places. But you're welcome to download them and create them on your own Vimeo account, or just use those. It doesn't matter. But like they're generic that anyone can use. 8 years in, 8 days in.
Yes, yes. And the reason, so the only reason I created one, guys, was because the What is Coaching webinar that Doug Fitzgerald, founding coach, did went away, and I couldn't find a link, and I messaged him. I was like, hey, do you have a recording? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll get it to you. And then he never got it to me. And I was just like, I'd messaged him a few times and I love him. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just go create this because my team needs something. So don't spend time doing that. If your time is better spent connecting with new people, building relationships, building your network, inviting people. Like, stay in the trenches with that.
Amen.
In fact, I'd say like get to 5-star, then you can think about that.
Yeah. So of the ladies on here, we have about 5 minutes. From what we've shared, or any other additional questions you'd like to ask, now's the time.
And that was a great question, by the way. I'm so glad you asked that, because I see so many people getting stuck in training or stuck in creating things that they don't need to create, right? So I love that you asked that question and that this is recorded so other people can hear it.
Okay. I do have a question. Have you ever been in a place where, because I have a severely sprained ankle and I'm struggling mentally because I'm at a point where no one wants to join someone who can't do the workouts, which I know we have the nutrition program, right? Like, I know in my mind, I know I can still get results and do that. But how do you get over those mental roadblocks?
So this was a huge transformation for my business. Okay, first off, I got to 6 figures in my business never doing a fitness program. Beachbody would hate me for saying that. But I share that because there are a lot of people on my team that are runners or triathletes or whatever. So they are doing workouts, but they use the supplements, right? And get great results using our supplements, and they share that with other people. So they're still helping people. It's kind of figuring out that healthy formula for that person. So about 3 years into my business, I got in a bike accident and injured my tailbone really badly. And I shared that. I shared, like, I'm going through, I can't do a lot that I could do before. And this is how I'm dealing with it. Like, this is my struggle. This is what I'm doing to overcome it. Yeah. I'm going to focus. I'm going to dial in on my nutrition. I've been somebody who has always said, like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. And I did, because you can out-train a bad diet, by the way, if you're doing an Ironman. You literally can. But it's a lot of work. And so I had started to put fat on my body. So I started sharing those photos, like, here's me gaining fat. Here's what I'm going to do about it. And then sharing that nutrition journey. Nutrition is the thing people are confused with. They know how to go out there and work out. Like, it's such a huge opportunity for your business. When I dialed in on my nutrition, what I started doing was I started taking weekly progress photos and sharing them. And first one to week 1, didn't see much results. First photo to week 2, not much results. By first photo to week like 12, there were a little bit of results. First photo to week like 20, one of my friends was like, I didn't think you were making any progress, and all of a sudden, boom, like you're like ripped. Yeah. Focus on my nutrition. Like, you want my nutrition plan. So I think everything, your adversity is your advantage, but when you're so focused on your adversity, it keeps you stuck. What's the opportunity that's open here, right? The opportunity for me was, now I get to share with people the nutrition journey, because I had never done that before. And I actually exploded my business from that. That's a great question. I feel like it's as humans, we do that. We get stuck in our problem, right? And instead of like being able to do the 360-degree view of our problem and all the opportunity available. Now, because I've been doing this for 8 years, when I have issues or problems, I'm like, hell yes, I get to tell everybody that I got a problem and this is how I'm going to overcome it. They're going to be really inspired by it. So many people are thinking that they can't start because they're too busy. They can't fit in workouts. They're going to relate to that. You can't work out right now, right? So many people are going through an injury, back injuries. There are so many people out there. Go search #back injury. I don't know if there's anything out there, but go follow some chiropractor who helps with back injuries or, pain management, and you'll find tons of people that need your help.
Right? I mean, isn't it? I was thinking about the way I respond to situations lately. It's so different because I'm a coach. I feel like because I am equipped with tools and strategies to take me from that negative place I used to always go, why is this happening to me? Why me? To learn how to navigate through some of the things that are just going to happen. And I think what a gift you have, Lisa, to share with other people that maybe are struggling with some of their things, right? An injury or anything that they're trying to work through. What a gift you have to share kind of how you're working through it and help them along the way.
Right. Yeah, because when I got in that bike accident, and then later that day somebody hit my car, sideswiped it. Like, all these things happened that day. It was just like horrible. And I was like, I'm going to go share with them all the shit that happened to me today and how I had a positive mindset about it. Like, I'm alive. I wasn't in the car. I'm okay. Car is a piece of metal. Like, we can get a new one. We can get it fixed, right? And bike injury, a week before my Ironman race, by the way, I was in the best shape of my life, and it all got wiped out. Like, everything. I had no power to even like move. I couldn't even sit in a car. I shared that. How am I going to like look at this as an opportunity, as an advantage for me to shift and challenge myself in other ways? Because really think of yourself as a leader, and you're role modeling the way for people. You're teaching them how to think when shit comes their way. Sorry if you have kids around. I apologize. Yeah, I have to hop off too. Okay. I gotta go get.
All right. Thank you. This was awesome, Chrissy. Thank you, ladies, for being on. I will post a recording as soon as it is downloaded. Thank you. Rock out your goals.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. And it says AB, so I'm not sure what your name is.
Angela, Lisa, Allison.
Angela, Lisa, Allison, Kimberly. Is it Shea or is it Shea? Shea?
You're muted, love, or we can't hear you for some reason. Shay?
Not even gonna know.
I'm at work, so I'm like trying to juggle everything. But it's Shay.
Shay. I love the spelling though. Shay. Okay, now I'll know. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much.